You're listening to HeartStone, written and illustrated by Andrew Frinkle. It was a dry, dead world. Nearly dead, anyway. But it hadn't always been that way. Maybe it wouldn't always be. It would depend on this one observer and his curiosity, his need to discover. Many obstacles were ahead of him. They would test his resolve, his strength, his heart, and his body. Would he have the will to go on, to find the thing that called to him? The petrified forest was an enchantingly sad reminder of life that had once flourished on this plain. Perhaps one day life would return. Nothing other than mushrooms lived here now. The Black Mountains were uncrossable, but one could walk around them given enough time and ambition. Threading through the knife rock maze cost him his first set of boots. Even the gravel underfoot was razor sharp. There was no place to rest for fear of getting cut. Crossing the shattered plateau, a crumbling mass of rocky islands, was a dangerous endeavor. Ropes and ladders made it passable, but just barely. The yawning chasm, a bottomless hole in the ground, was nerve-wracking to bridge. Shaky arms and sweaty palms made the passage that much more dangerous, but he would not be deterred. The drylands were desolate. Blisters and cracked skin were unavoidable and thirst unbearable. White, bleached bones of great creatures were the only hint that something had once lived here. Then, after many moons of walking, he finally laid eyes upon the thing he'd felt, but had not known. The crystal mound. The otherworldly crystals had drawn him here, moth to a flame. Now he stood before it and couldn't stop staring. There, something was under the surface of the crystal. He had to climb to meet it. Blood red, it pulsated, beating like a heart. He could feel it in his bones and in his mind. He placed his hand upon the crystal. It spoke to him, not in words, but in feelings. As if by instinct, he knew he had to free it. He chipped it out of the crystal with care, careful not to damage it with his hammer. It glowed with an inner fire. Every facet was alight with life. Its pulse beat madly in his brain. And to hold it was to know its will. With it against his ungloved hand, it told him things. It told him what he must do. He walked back the way he had come, but stopped within sight of the crystal mound. He had no care for those crystals now, not when he held what he'd come for. He sat down, holding the crystal tightly. Sounds faded. Human needs faded. He was unaware of breathing or the passage of time. There was only the HeartStone and its fiery light. Then, there was more. Nothing much at first, but ever so slowly there was more. Life sprouted where there had been none. The HeartStone blurred, diffusing into the air and land. The effect spread like wildfire, and the world drank it in hungrily. As the light of the HeartStone faded, life spread once more across the dying world. The world was alive once more, renewed by the light of the HeartStone. Their job done, the remaining crystals left the world in a flash of red fire. Adrift once more, they waited and watched, looking for another world in need of a HeartStone, and for one worthy of holding it. HeartStone. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story. Learn more about this and other stories at andrewfrinkle.com, or get your own copy at amazon.com/author/Andrew Frinkle.